Hello and welcome to the Garden of the Black Roses. Now, this is fanfiction. So, Angelic Intentions, Arc 1, Chapter 4, Demon of Sorrow. Master Yugi? Isis settled back on his hand. What happened? My heart and my eyes were damaged from the attack, Yugi replied softly. They transplanted Heba's into me along with his wings. Ra gave me a choice. Either accept that Heba was dead, or live as a duality angel with him. 2 souls in 1 body, Isis breathed. But what does that mean for Ishizu and me? You both have the same master now, Yugi replied. You answer to whichever of us is controlling my body at the time. Where's Ishizu then? She watched as Yugi closed his eyes, fascinated by the change in wing color from white to black. Opening his rich purple eyes, he said, I will locate her, Isis. Master Heba! Isis took flight as Heba left the room and headed down the hall to his old bedroom. He paused and stared at what was once the guest bedroom. I'm glad, Heba said, picking up a nearby photo of Yami and Atemu. Atemu had his arms wrapped around Yami, with the 2 sharing a kiss. I was afraid they would be sad for a long time after we disappeared. He put the photo back down and continued on. Isis stared at the linen cupboard that sat between Yugi and Heba's old rooms. Yami and Atemu could see the curious fairy through the wooden slats. Isis, Heba called, and they watched as he walked back to the fairy. Something wrong? There's something in there, she said, trying to determine what that something was. Human or demon? Not sure. Isis looked up at Heba. What should we do? If it's human, it doesn't want to be seen, and I don't want to push the issue. If it's a demon, I'll deal with it once we find Ishizu. As you wish, Master, Isis said, following him into his old bedroom. Yami and Atemu breathed a sigh of relief. They listened to Heba and Ishizu speaking to each other before they left the room and stopped once again outside the cupboard. What do you think, Ishizu? Heba asked quietly. It's difficult to describe. Ishizu brushed her storm blue dress and then looked identical to Isis's. It's dark, but not demonic. Heba said nothing before blinking in confusion. Heaven's light? It was clear that he wasn't talking to the fairies. I can't use it, Yugi. You have to. After a quick switch, Yugi stepped back from the cupboard. He raised his left hand to the sky. Raising his left hand up to the sky and raising his right, palm facing out towards the cupboard. Light of the heavens, Yugi called, his hands glowing a pale purple. Filter through this house and draw evil out into the light. Twin pulses of light flowed from Yugi as if to slice down anything evil. Nothing, Ishizu said, looking at the cupboard. Then it's human, Yugi said softly. He looked at the cupboard sadly before a roar was heard from downstairs. That's... Downstairs? Isis asked, flying up into Yugi's hair in fright. Well... Yugi sighed, and summoned his sighs. Let's hope it's a common demon. Anything stronger and I'm not going to be in for a good time. He headed downstairs. Yami and Atemu snuck out of the cupboard and down the stairs. They paused when they heard Yugi's voice again. "Isis, fly to heaven and get either Michael or Gabriel." The fairy shot off out the window like a rocket. Yugi stepped back in preparation, his size up in a defensive stance. "I'm so in trouble. That is a fully grown demon of sorrow. I should have expected one here, just not one so big." Yami and Atemu watched the midnight blue demon easily 3 times Yugi's height, unfurl his leathery wings and tower over the little hikari. Fingering their puzzles, they decided it was time to act. Just as a pre-warning before this next chapter, it does have like a minor possible trigger for some people. Just here, be mindful. Chapter 5. Gabriel. Yugi screamed as he was flung back, knocking Yami and Atemu over in the process. They had come out with the intention of helping, and didn't expect to be down so soon. "Yugi," Yami groaned as the young hikari picked himself up and flew at the demon once more. "Do me a favor and stay out of it," Yugi replied. His golden sides flashed in the light. "I don't need to think about hitting you if you keep away." He winced as the demon grabbed his wing, and pulled him hard before throwing him down to the ground. Yugi groaned and pushed himself up slowly, before wincing again when the demon picked him up by the wings. The scream emitted when the demon grabbed Yugi's arm and pulled hard, dislocating it, shot through Yami and Atemu like lightning. Grabbing their puzzles in one hand, they focused bolts of shadow magic at the demon in an attempt to free Yugi. The demon laughed. "You can't harm me. You created me." He laughed harder as he pushed Yugi down to snap his other arm. "Your sorrows for your light were my food to grow." Yami and Atemu rushed forwards to attack the demon, only to be repelled by a wave of raw power. Yugi laid abandoned behind the demon as he stepped forward with malicious gleam in his eyes. He wanted to kill the humans. White wings slowly darkened to black. Size vanished and wounds began to repair themselves. Heba pulled himself up and summoned his daggers before launching himself at the demon. "How dare you hurt my brother!" Heba screamed, slicing off one wing and dragging the other down his back. He used the leverage of the daggers to flip over the demon and land between it and the Yamis. "How are you able to move?" the demon demanded, staring intently at the now black-winged hikari. "I disabled you completely." "That's the beauty of a duality, Angel." Heba spat. "We die hard." Daggers and claws flew as Heba and the demon fought, trying to harm or at least disable the other. But, just like Yugi, Heba was thrown at Yami and Atemu's feet, broken and bleeding. Heaven's light shone down on Heba, and a deep voice disapprovingly. "I sent you to find your fairies, not get yourselves killed." A six-winged angel appeared next to Heba and gently brushed the golden bangs from Heba's face. "Isis, Shizu," he called. "Yes, Gabriel," they said in unison. "Heal Heba and Yugi while I deal with this demon of sorrow." He summoned a fiery sword with a thin, slender blade. "As you wish." They set to work. Yami and Atemu knelt down near Heba's head and waited for him to wake up. They watched as the angels sliced easily at the demon without much trouble. A small groan brought their attention back to Heba. Most of the cuts and breaks were healed. The fairies were healing his wings. "Who is that, Heba?" Atemu whispered softly. "And what's going on?" "That's Gabriel," Heba replied weakly. "He's Yugi's mentor. Michael is mine." He tested his wings uncertainly. "I'm gonna switch." Before either Yami could say anything, the color drained from his wings, leaving an unconscious and badly injured Yugi laying in front of them. It wasn't long before Yugi stirred. "I was run over?" Isis giggled. "By a demon of sorrow." She watched Yugi look away with a pained expression on his face. "Sorry, Master. I didn't expect you to ask that." "So much for my promotion now." Yugi sat up and tested his newly healed wings. "Gabriel is gonna murder me for this." "Not murder." Gabriel knelt and grabbed Yugi's chin. "Punish, perhaps." He gently planted a kiss on Yugi's lips. Yugi swallowed hard when Gabriel pulled away. Punished? He scooted backwards until his back hit the wall. "Not again. Please." Yami and Atemu found themselves frozen to the floor. Something about this seraphim and the way he looked at Yugi unnerved them. With only the ability to watch, they were horrified at the scene that unfolded before them. Gabriel grabbed Yugi's wrists and pinned them to the wall before kissing him once again. It took a lot for Yugi not to yelp at the roughness of the kiss. Now, Gabriel purred when he broke the kiss. "You're usually more vocal than this." He pulled Yugi by the wrists away from the wall before pinning him to the floor. "You're not going to make more noise?" "You said if I did, you would make it worse," yelped Yugi, trying in vain to pull his wrists free. "Make up your mind." "I thought you could read minds," Gabriel purred once again. He pulled Yugi's wrists up over his head and pinned them together with one hand. "You're not my darkness!" Yugi cried. Tears flowed freely. "You already know that." He paused as his eyes widened as the gold clips that held his tunic in place were removed. "Please stop." "As your mentor, it is my right to punish you as I see fit," Gabriel purred, catching Yugi's lips with his own. He tugged at the tunic with his free hand, causing it to fall open, to reveal Yugi's pale, slender body. "And now I think is a good time for punishment, don't you?" And that's it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the next chapter does. Yeah. Okay. The next chapter doesn't have any more of it, but yeah, I am like recording quite a few of these things in one go, so yeah. But I will see you in the next one, and as always, let your imagination grow wild. Bye for now.